Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase. Yes, it does come with a fun Picatinny rail adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15, like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the flamethrower button to learn more, or click the URL in the video description below. Lastly, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Porsche and Audi saying they might make their vehicles in the USA for the first time in order to avoid some of the proposed Trump tariffs, which a Porsche 911 made in America, I'm so conflicted. Now, this comes to us thanks to The Drive, specifically Rowan Glone, who's a writer over there. And they say, quote, Porsche Audi could build cars in the USA to avoid tariffs report. And they note that Volkswagen could expand its Chattanooga, Tennessee factory to build Porsche and Audi models in the US for the first time, which, I mean, when I think of the coolest of all the portfolio, I would say that, yeah, bar none, Porsche's the coolest, partially because, you know, sports car with the stick shift is a rare thing these days. But again, the Volkswagen portfolio also includes Audi, as well as, well, the VW brand specifically, but also Ducati, Bugatti, as well as Lamborghini. They have a lot of cool things in their portfolio. Things aren't doing great for Volkswagen, specifically that name, but the rest is doing quite well. Porsche sales jumping through the roof last year, especially in the United States. Now here you can see one of the iconic Porsche 911s, which they're already a pretty penny. Now the only question is, how much would that increase the cost of goods sold made in America with American labor, laws, rules, regulations, versus if you still made it in Germany, but with the proposed tariffs? And not to mention the setup time and, you know, retooling and training the employees. And then you have the debate of American workers versus German workers. And some people argue to the red in the face with German craftsmanship, which I think you're partially paying for. This partially of the allure to the brand is good old Stuttgart. You know, it's, for Christ's sakes, it's on the logo itself as a city of assembly. Now, specifically getting to the article, they note that, quote, Porsche and Audi are open to building cars in the United States if Trump administration imposes new, much higher tariffs on vehicles imported from Europe and Mexico, according to a recent report. The looming tariffs could be enacted as early as, today, 2025. Now, citing German business paper, and I mean, I'm not intentionally going to butcher this, but I suspect I will butcher this name, Handelsblatt. There's like 1% chance I got that right. An industry trade journal, the Automotive News, wrote that Porsche and Audi are dangerously exposed to the new administration's proposed tariffs because both brands import all their vehicles and they sell in the United States. Porsche sources all of its models from Europe, the 911, the iconic sports car, the 718, the iconic, what used to be the entry-level sports car, which still, 76 grand is a lot of money, more than many of us can fathom. But, they also note that Europe might kill that due to the EU cybersecurity and tyrannical laws, but to make an EV. But nevertheless, for now, it's still the Porsche 718. Also the Panamera, which is, the sedan. The Taycan, which is the EV sedan, which, yeah. And both versions of the Macan are built in Germany, while the Cayenne is made in Slovakia, which, yeah, would not have gotten that right on a bingo scorecard. They'll note that the Audi's Q5 is made in Mexico, while many of the other models in the range are imported from Europe. They note that there's no way that either brand can set up manufacturing operation in the United States before Trump's deadline. You can't pull a big lever to start building a car somewhere. Realistically, the shift will take months at the very least and likely years. However, anonymous company sources told the news outlet that Porsche and Audi could turn the parent company Volkswagen to skirt profit-robbing tariffs as quickly as possible. One of the options being evaluated is expanding the Chattanooga, Tennessee factory that currently makes the Atlas and the ID4. The SUVs, which, anecdotal evidence, I've seen two, of which one person I know likes it. They note that the plant has excess capacity, according to Automotive News, and it could be scaled up to build more cars. Audi is also open to making cars in the factory at Volkswagen-owned Scout building in South Carolina, which is one of their subsidiary off-brands, which also, that one is tooling up to make the Terra and Traveler trucks. They note that Scout's plant isn't scheduled to open until 2027, however. So, yeah, talk about accelerating a opening. That'd take a lot of resources. Now, they note that Trump has not confirmed the new tariffs will be enacted as soon as February 1st. As of this writing, the tariffs represent more of a threat than policy decision, and the administration hasn't officially decided how high the tariffs should be. Now, Trump also said we are thinking in terms of 25% in Mexico and Canada, and I think we'll do it February. Which, again, he also says, quote, detail, the European Union is very, very, well, I'm sorry, this is Trump speaking. What am I thinking? The European Union is very, very bad to us, so they're going to be in for the tariffs, but it's the only way. You've got to have the fairness, unquote, which, yeah, the EU is very tyrannical, I would say morally vacuous and bad for business. Don't get me started on the censorship that they have on the citizens there. Yeah, them trying to destroy Porsche by bastardizing the brand by making EVs, especially the EV Cayman, which, yeah, there's a reason that got kicked back another year because, yeah, it's going to be hard to make any fun sports car, two-door, that's an EV. Especially because, again, if it's for the track, like all fun Porsches are engineered for, well, yeah, spoiler alert, you can't take an EV to the track and recharge between sessions, let alone for the safety equipment and insurance requirements that most plants don't have for lithium-ion battery-powered vehicles. I partially digress. Now, they also note that Volkswagen builds several other brands in Mexico, including the Taycan, and warned that the Trump administration could have a harmful impact on the economy there. So, I mean, that's the issue. You really need stability, from a government perspective in terms of a Trump administration. These changes are going to take a lot of time. And then there's also the debate, part of the allure is the Stuttgart assembled, engineered, manufactured Porsche 911. And truth be told, I'm probably butchering that city, as iconic as it is. But there are some great things made in America. I mean, this table is made in America by me. But in all seriousness, I love my VW Splendor. That thing's darn near bulletproof, going on 10 plus years. Shoot, love my AR-15. That's as bulletproof as you can get. I mean, I'm probably the only person I know who has now my 17th pair, I think, of New Balance 990s made exclusively in the USA. So don't get me wrong, I'm a huge proponent of made in the USA. Even my fun little jewelry is a functional tool. That's jewelry for women. I have a functional, cool tool on my wrist. But it's all made in the USA. However, it's one of those things where when it comes to cars, again, you gotta be careful with single variable analysis, but the most unreliable cars consistently are always made in the USA by the United Auto Workers. And again, I've had family on both sides of the union, and hear stories good and bad. But I think it's fair to say that's a contributing factor of why a lot of U.S. made vehicles are more expensive and less reliable. Again, it's not the single variable analysis, but is I believe, a major component and variable that contributes to it. I mean, shoot, geez Louise, you had Ford F-150 trucks with mismatching headlights and seats last year, which, again, I mean, I'm not saying I'm a genius, but even I could probably note that two headlights look different. The assembly line worker either didn't care or they just didn't notice at all. So, again, I wish I was getting a Porsche. I mean, I got a Honda Civic Si in my rental garage, but it's a dream to have a Porsche 911. It's got a stick shift. It's a blast, but I think it would lose some of the allure if instead of their iconic Porsche badge, instead of saying Stuttgart, said, America. And I love American made. I don't think I would go for it, though. If it's already a Porsche 911, I believe it starts at $119,000. And the price is just going to go up through the roof if it's unionized labor. I mean, I think it would lose part of the allure of what Porsche is. Granted, people said the same thing about Porsche making SUVs. It would destroy the brand, and now it's, should be told, the most profitable thing, because not only do they sell a lot of units, but it's also SUVs, and Americans love to pay through the nose for those things. So I may very well be wrong, but to me, a Porsche should be made in Germany. And I think if they ask Trump, they'll have exemptions for like the 911 and the Cayman, maybe, because again, Trump has done exceptions before. When he was first in office, he did exemption he met with Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, because Apple obviously makes the majority of their stuff in China, or Trump would say China. So they're going to be kneecapped pretty bad. And Trump gave Tim Cook an exception. Now, for government, Apple phones, they do make a couple of those in the USA. Very, very expensive, but more secure. But he did get a major exception for the majority of Apple products. So maybe that's what Volkswagen Group will do in this case. Tell Trump they'll make some more SUVs here, but leave the 911 and the Cayman alone. That's what I suspect will happen, because again, Trump likes to make deals. If they show that they're increasing the investment in the U.S. operations for like the SUVs and the crossovers, but they just want to keep a couple things, I think Trump would make that deal. But let me know in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.